Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to get an awesome new PC, you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alrighty, so tonight we've got a little bit of different stuff going on, so I'm going to try and catch up on just a bit of general sort of shit with parts that end up sort of accumulating slash, end up acquiring. Someone's got an old PC and I give them a little bit of money for it off their PC that they're buying, or they're either just like, I don't know what's wrong with it, something's wrong with it, blah 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 blah. Do you want it, or do you just want me to get rid of it? And depending what it is, I might say, drop it off, I'll have a look at it and I'll see what I can do with it. But I'm always so busy with other shit, I never get time to go through it. And then, so what happens is a lot of shit ends up sort of piling up here, and so I end up with a situation where I've got to go through it all and put some systems together. So I got a few really old, sort of like what I consider really old. One of them's DDR4, the other two are DDR3. They've both got CPUs in them. I'm not even sure whether I would even bother doing anything with these at this stage. I don't think it's really worth putting a DDR3 PC together and selling it to someone in 2022. I just think that should just be put to e-waste, to be completely honest. But anyway, they're in my pile here of things to have a look at anyway. But we've got a H110M HDV there, DDR4, don't know what CPU's under it, so we'll have a look at that. I got an ASRock it's like a little ITX ASRock board here. It's a H510, so Intel 10th and 11th gen. Got a GT 1030 graphics card down here as well. We've got a B450 here, a Ryzen powered board, so got a CPU for all that. But fundamentally what we've got down here, we've got an old PC it's coming from an older guy, and it was like a decent PC for him back in the day. This is a DDR3 one, and he said that basically it's not working, takes ages to boot up and stuff, and sure enough it's only got a hard drive in it. He's actually from out at Roma, and so if you don't know where Roma is pretty much right in the centre of the south half of Queensland. Okay, so out there in Roma, it's beautiful when they get good seasons of rain and stuff like that. It's thousands of square kilometres of pasture and cropping and all sorts of good stuff out there. But then when they have shitty seasons, it gets very dusty. And this PC was pretty much definitely in the top 3 dustiest PCs that I ever came across. As you can see there now, it's looking a lot better. That's had a blowout, and couldn't believe how much dust there was. Created such a big dust cloud around me that I was using the leaf blower to blow the dust cloud away from me, so I didn't get all dust in my face and breathe in all the dust. So just to give you a bit of an idea there, so it looks a lot nicer. So basically what we're going to do with this first one, it's basically going to be an SSD restoration. So we're going to chuck an SSD in this one. We're going to do a new install of Windows 10 on it, provided everything else works. There's a few things plugged into it. There is a graphics card there that looks to be, I can't see a model on the back of it there, on any of the stickers. But it's in a PCIe slot, not a PCI slot. And now then there's 2 other cards that are plugged into the PCI slots. And so there's a network one, and looks like a Firewire card or something like that. So back in the day, it's definitely getting a little bit old there. So one of the first things you might want to do when you're restoring an old PC like this, other than blow it out, get rid of all the dust, you don't want to be touching that or breathing it in, is get the little battery off the motherboard there. Just stick it on a battery tester. Just make sure it's still got charge in it. This one here is, oh, it's actually just below good. It still works, but it's on its way out. So what we might do, we might install a new battery. Got a heap of I/O shields here for these motherboards. Here we go. So, just a second. Got my little pack of 2032 batteries. These are the ones we need, so we'll just put a fresh battery in there. And so that should hopefully save us a few dramas. So we got an unknown condition hard drive in there. It's probably seen better days, to be completely honest. So let's grab an SSD here. It's really old, so we're not gonna be using, you know, expensive parts here or anything like that. So we've got a 240 gigabyte SATA SSD. And so on this motherboard, it's not even going to run at the full speed of an ordinary SATA SSD. What I might do because the hard drive's of unknown condition and I don't know what data's on there, so if it's not completely stuffed, I'm gonna try and actually keep the data on there, so then the user can actually go through it, and if there's like some photos or something on there, because oh man, it's not fun when you lose your data. I've gone through it personally myself when I was young. I've learnt it the hard way. I had customers who have learnt it the hard way. And yeah, when it comes to data, I mean, there's only really two things you do. One is a cloud backup, and the other one is an off-site and offline backup, because that's the only way you can actually insure yourself. You might think, oh, but I can do a RAID drive, and then all the stuff's backed up on the other drive. Happy days. Okay, but the problem with RAID is anything that gets done to one drive will automatically get done to the other drive. Pretty much everything that you do will. And that's a... Oh. Fucking great angle on this, isn't it? Alrighty. So, geez, wish us luck here, eh? What do Catholics say? You say your rosaries or some shit? I think that's what the Catholics say. If someone is a Catholic, maybe you can let me know. I'm one of those non-religiously affiliated people. I don't favour any of them. No one's fully convinced me yet. I remain unconvinced. Okay, fucking good. Here we go. I'll even turn this fucking thing on. There we go. We got a beep. Okay. So let me, sorry, I'm flying solo tonight, so if you're trying to talk to me, it might be a little bit hard. At least for, what's the time now? 7:10, at least for the next couple of hours. After that, my lovely wife will be home and she'll be able to sort of read the comments and stuff. CMOS checksum error. No problems. Let's just go into BIOS. Let's get... Do I have USB 3 on this thing? No, fucking dead. Should be a trip back in time, won't it? Huh? What's wrong with this mouse? Whoa. The orientation on this mouse is back to front. So up is left, down is right. Fuck. This is doing my head in. I'll just have to use the keyboard. That mouse control is just... Protecting our drive. Just check through all these settings here quickly. Yeah, we're fine. What's going on here? Alright, there we go. Like I said, it's going to be slow. We're running everything through USB 2. So normally what I would do is I would be running all this through USB 3.2 because I use USB 3.2 flash drive, so it's all a bit quicker. And so you'll notice it's a bit slower here. And you might go, oh, that's a shitty old computer, it can't do anything, it'll just be shit all around. No, it's actually mainly bottlenecked by that really slow USB 2 interface. It's not designed for like high transfers of data. That's why they invented USB 3, to speed all that up a bit. Bang, there's our drive. Bang, right there, there's your disk drive. As you can see, a lot slower. IO shield. Huh. I think I literally found the next one right there. Look at that. It doesn't have an IO shield. It's all built in. No. 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 Maybe. Yes. Oh, places to put all this shit. Alrighty, so it looks like I found IO shields for all these old boards, but I don't have one for this ASRock board here. So I might have another without an IO shield. It happens. It's like, I think this board, this one here without the IO shield, I think this came with this GT 1030, and some poor bastard, like, trying to get into PCs, buys that and like buys all the cheapest stuff, and he's like, yeah, gonna use it to game and play, you know, Call of Duty and stuff, and then learned everything the hard way. He bought this graphics card, then found out that this graphics card's not good enough. Then he bought another graphics card, and then the motherboard was like not adequate for the new graphics card. It would overheat his motherboard, and yeah, I've had a couple of cases that are very, very similar to that. You feel bad for the guys, because, like, you know, they've put money into it, they've tried to do their own research. They've just made like every fucking possible mistake, and it's like, you feel bad that you're the bearer of the bad news, but it's like, you know, I don't make the rules for this. I'm just telling you what reality is and what you're gonna need to do to fucking make it right. Alrighty. So old mate's he's not after a gaming PC or a freaking editing PC or anything like that. He just wants to get this thing sort of up and running again, which it will. Running off an SSD, notice a difference straight away. We didn't have to fuck around with much. We had some spare SATA cables there. we are going to try to get our hard drive going again though. Alrighty. Hello. Hello. There we go. Look at that. Okay, so we've got an internet connection there. We've got our USB drivers installing, that's why you can't see a cursor. There you go. We won't have any problems downloading all of our usual stuff. Well, not all of our usual stuff, but all of our driver updates. We won't be installing a whole heap of like gaming apps or anything like that. We're just going to install a little bit of diagnostic software and install all of our Windows updates, obviously. Okay. Disk info. So we got an i7 2600, 8GB DDR4. Yes, this is like an okay spec system. You know, it'll work. There you go. Some sort of graphics card driver. But I'm not seeing our graphics card here. Alrighty. Yes. We have a Radeon HD 5450. I am not familiar with it, but it's got 1GB of VRAM. Okay, so that's all sorted. Don't need to download anything extra from there. Alright. It's all coming along there. Sweet. Anything else we'll put on here? An Intel chip and motherboard there. Put Office 365 on there, so it's handy. PLC media player. So we're not going to stress test this or anything like that. There's no point. It's an old system. Didn't get these updates from here, well, not all of them. Okay, so really all we got to do now is just wait for this to get sorted, and then we got to check the status of that hard drive, because obviously we don't want to ever run Windows off it again. But if it's got some precious data on there, we'll try and keep it intact for the end user. It's probably all like, shit, I can breathe now. But yeah, whoever they got it off it's a professionally built PC. They know their way around a cable and how to plug everything in discreetly. I mean, there's no room for cable management in this case. It's just an old school sort of case. But I can tell it's done by a professional, because he's routed the fan power cable behind where the cards plug in and down to the bottom there, so it's not going over the top and stuff. Little things like that I can just see by looking at it. I'm like, yep, this guy, whoever built it, they've actually tried. And we've got some new USB drivers, I'm assuming. Have we freaking stalled? We didn't get long through that, did we? Oh well. One stall doesn't matter. It's when it keeps happening that it's a problem. Oh, it's still doing that weird thing with my mouse. Alright, so we've got our other drive connected now, so when we boot back into Windows, we should be able to check the status of it. Definitely skip this jacking. So that's the other drive there is probably the reason why it was just taking a little bit longer there to boot into Windows. No, somehow it's freaking booted back to the hard drive there. I'm pretty sure I disabled the fucking drive from the boot order, but anyway. Don't even fucking shut down. I don't even care. So obviously the drive's not in that bad health if it will actually boot. Operating system wasn't found. So what, if I fucked up and disabled the wrong drive in BIOS? I'm sure I didn't do that though. There's a boot override menu, I'll just use that. Because once I get booted into Windows with the right operating system, I can disable the other drive from ever booting again by making a few changes. An operating system wasn't found on the fucking SSD, but we literally just installed the operating system. That's pretty fucking weird. Okay, what do you know? And now we're not booting into the fucking SSD properly, so the flash drive properly. Fucking dead. Okay. We might have a deeper problem with this. It worked fine for me before when the system was relatively cold. Now we appear to have crashed on the BIOS screen here. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Alright, so what's going on here? Looks like we have all of our partitions there for our drive. It seems really weird that we can't actually install Windows. So something could have become corrupted there. We're working with older hardware. We'll run it again just to be safe. What's the time? I don't want to waste too much time. Because we got other things to move on with. That's the thing about these old PCs, you know. They can take up a lot of time, and that's why you know, I can't prioritize like working on them and stuff. So if someone brings one to me, it's like I won't be able to do it today because you're not going to pay much money for the work on it or anything like that. And yeah, everything's slow. We'll give this one more try, and then yeah, we'll move on. So next one, we'll probably have a look at this AMD board here and get this going on. Get it in a case. Test a couple of CPUs. I found a 3900X in a drawer. I think it's fucked, but I'll give it a go. But I got a 3100X that would go nicely onto that board. You put it in a new case, put a new power supply and some different RAM in it, and I don't know, RTX 2060, RX 6600 or something like that, go with that one. Under $1,000 gaming PC there, that'll be alright. And then yes, we got this GT 1030. This can go on like one of these boards here, and we can use that as a Minecraft PC. Someone's kid will want it, play Minecraft and Roblox and all that on it. Something cheap. There's this card here. I've also got this old GTX 770. It's pretty old. I think it's seen better days, but I believe it still works. So maybe put that with something. Alrighty, let's give this one more fucking try. It's so fucking slow though, that's the problem. So I guess first we should test this 3900X. I don't know why it would have been in my drawer there if it wasn't fucked, or something that I thought was 90-something% fucked. But let's just make sure. I don't want to throw out a 3900X CPU on a whim. Bloody hell, come on. Hey, it heard me. Look at that. Got that internet cable plugged in still. Pay for that now. Alright, so one thing I wanted to check was the memory speed. So you can check memory speed with CPU Z. Oh, yuck. What sort of RAM do we have? And there's other ones. Oh yeah, 1333. That'll be a bit better. What about this other one? Oh. I think we might do a memory swap. That might help this PC out a little bit. How are we looking? Nuts talking to all the devices, okay. Let's let it restart and boot back into Windows and all that. Okay. So done a reboot. Just doing another cumulative update there. Okay. Even our land's a little bit slow. Everything's slow. It's an older PC. Something else we have to do. We just have to get back to that original. So what I might do, I might shut down. Let's see how we go with a bit of a memory upgrade here. Oh no, this is the same speed. Oh yes, that's right. I'm being an idiot misreading the frickin' CPU-Z stats. So with the CPU-Z memory stats, you heard me say before, we've got DIMMs, D-I-M-M, so dual inline memory modules. Oh, I'm in flash mode. I didn't mean to go to flash mode. I want a boot menu. No, this is booting to the fucking hard drive. I'll fucking rip the cunt out and disable it on another computer. Better be careful. There we go. See, that's what we like to see. They've done a single hard drive into 2 partitions, but the customers never used the second partition. Yeah, let's delete F. Okay, it's not liking that. Well, so there we go. That should never boot up to that by default anymore. Where are we? I just want crystal disk info. Let's have a look and see what we see over here. Have we got a good condition drive, or is there a problem? Okay, looking pretty good. No major failures there. Single read error. No reallocated sector count. No seek error. No spin retry. No recalibration. No reallocated events at all. No. Happy days. That drive is actually in not too bad. It's had a bit of use. I'd say it's definitely towards the end of its life, but it is not today. Okay, and our SSD is obviously brand new. So why isn't that letting me do that? Let me just... Okay. I'll just put it back. It's there. The drive's in okay health. Restart to repair drive errors. I don't want to repair any drive errors. I'll delete some shit out of this so it's completely fucked. I don't want you repairing it or anything Windows. We don't want to boot to this one anymore. All of our user data is still there. Oh, it's going to take too long. Let's just hope it doesn't do that. Because if not, I might have to take the drive out and hook it up to another PC and get a bit more physical with those partitions. Alrighty, look, why don't we put the side on this for now. And we might turn our attention away from this because I think this is going to take a little while to download here. What's going on? Why can't I resize? Fucking dead. Alrighty, so that's going on over there. Let's turn our attention to this one here. This is our B450 motherboard, and we're going to see whether the 3900X, oh, sorry about that sound there, actually works. And also whether this motherboard still works, etc, etc. Alright, so CPU. Motherboard, nothing for our graphics card. So So what are we sitting on there? CPU error. Oh, that's not a good sign, is it? Ow. It's fucking very hot already. No, I think she's dead. I think she's definitely dead, which is what I would expect. Oh. Jeez, not even turning off instantly for me. Like the CPU doesn't matter. Alrighty, I got this one here. This is a brand newie. It's a Ryzen 3100. Here. There we go. Here we go, here's a post, look at that. It definitely works, and our motherboard looks like it works fine as well. Sweet as. So yeah, B450, Ryzen 3100. Yeah, that'll pair nicely with a 6600 or a RTX 2060 or something like that for an under $1,000 gaming PC. So that'll be good for someone. Always people wanting cheap PCs and stuff like that, and you know, I can only do it when I've got, you know, secondhand parts available and stuff. Got a VGA error. It's probably just this card that I've got. Okay. This looks like... Why did we just power off then? Oh, haha, I think I know why we just powered off. We just powered off because we don't have a fucking cooler on the CPU. Okay, so we got a stock AMD cooler here. I just need a little bit of thermal compound. Oh. Stop. It's cooled down and then it's rebooting. That should be more than enough thermal. Like I say, with our AMD stock coolers, just a couple of rotations on each side just to get it in place. here because I've got it on slightly uneven ground there. It's just not playing ball for me. There we go. Bastard. Right. Now, let's power it on. We should be all good there. Let me just get an updated BIOS for this. This is a B450 Aorus Pro. So don't mind me coming over to the streaming PC to download a BIOS. Aorus B450 Pro. That looks like the one. Get our BIOS here. What are we up to? Jesus, F63D. That feels like a really high number. They've got a lot of updates here to make this right. Alrighty. Oh look, F61 version was July 2021. We've got one here for July 2022. So a lot of problems with this board at first. And so yeah, we'll chuck this one in a case. I don't have a kit of memory. I'm gonna put like some nicer memory in with this. Probably a bigger SSD. So I might sort of get this one kind of in a case, and I'll have a couple of other parts to add. I don't think I've got a spare 650 watt power supply for it though. I've got one here, but that's not spare. That's the power supply I use for this sort of shit. That's a good thermal take one there with a 10-year warranty. So yeah, we'll get this one in the case ready to go, and then we'll have a look at the rest of them. We'll work out what we're doing. But it looks like this one will be a bit more responsive for the guy. It's just a backup PC. At least it just won't take so long to load and shit like that. So we can keep that, get a little bit more life out of it. It's fine for desktop related stuff, right? Yeah, so we'll just get this BIOS updated, then we'll have another look at this first one. Hopefully we can maybe put that one to rest for now. Bang, that's what we're looking for. So obviously we don't have any drives connected to it, so that's completely fine. Alright. Probably not even much point in me making the screen bigger. I'll just leave me small there for now. And we can move over to this next computer. And let's see how we're looking over here. Alrighty. It's all looking good. These cumulative updates, they don't take long. Sweet as. So it looks like we'll just be able to shut this one down and that'll be all ready to go for the customer. Sweet as. So at least now they're running off an SSD as opposed to a hard drive. It's going to be a little bit faster and snappier for them. They won't have to wait so long for it to boot up the first time. So that's a good thing. Alright, so let's put me back to full screen there for a bit. Yeah, this was so dusty, man. I wish I got a video of it. Testing PCs out. I reckon people had subscribed to that just to watch big clouds of dust come out of PCs. Soon, once Christine can work with me for a few days, maybe we can start getting some shit like that sorted. So let's chuck our B450 with the 3100. Let's chuck that in an Antec NX320 case. That'll look pretty sick. Okay, just don't even need that. So we won't be doing any software install or anything like that on this one. We're just going to get the board in the case pretty much and get it ready, just to add a couple of extra parts. So quite a lot of people who buy used PCs off me, I end up listing them, and then we end up making a whole heap of changes to the configuration because they want slightly better stuff, and that's no problem at all, right? But I know from experience with this one, the 3100, and if I pair it with a 6600 or a 2060 or something like that, people aren't going to want like 8 gigabytes of RAM. They'll want some like better RAM in there. They'll probably want a better power supply, you know, bigger power supply, etc, etc. All those sort of little things there. No, there's no point in me even opening the back panel at this stage. All I need to do is install 3 extra offsets. Because while this is an ATX case, there is a cut down version of an ATX motherboard that only needs 6 volts. But we've got a full size regular ATX board here with the 9 volts. So they install 6 of the offsets, so I've got 3 extras here to install. Actually, no, we'll open the back panel as well. I'll just get all of the other cables in place and ready to go, and then it will just be power cables to go on. When I get a power supply for it. Everyone freaks out about power supplies. They think they need like way more power than what they actually need. And it's like, you're all good unless you know, the only time you need to go more than what I suggest initially is if you're planning on upgrading in the future. Because sort of buffer on your power supply based on your maximum load based on the parts that I give you. I always do that. That's sort of how I roll. And yeah, like if you're ever concerned, there's a power supply calculator that you can use to go and confirm it. Because if you buy a decent power supply, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that if it has to run at 80% load. It's designed to do that, so it's fine. Look at the 80 plus efficiency curves and stuff like that. You'll see what I mean. If you're running at 85% maximum load, you don't really have any problems with efficiency. Alright, so these ones here, I just feed them through the top here so we can conceal them a little bit more. It just looks a bit neater. Definitely not essential or anything like that, but it does look neater at the end of the day. Alrighty, so let's lay it down. We'll probably put at least one extra Rgb fan on it. Just one at the back. Alrighty, motherboard in. Okay, bang, motherboard in the case, fan at the back. So let's just hook up a little bit of stuff here while we can. Save me a bit of time later, even though I still need to add a power supply to it after the fact. USB 2.0. Front panel audio. USB 3. And our front panel connections, so our power button, etc. Sweet. Okay, so that one is like sort of halfway ready to go now. So we're not using slot 1, so I'll go and put a blanking panel on slot 1. So we're all ready to chuck in a decent graphics card here. decent power supply and some RAM. And an SSD, of course. And then we'll have a budget gaming PC for someone. They're few and far between. So if you want it, be quick. I don't have endless used parts. There's like a theoretical endless supply of new parts. However, if you want used, if you're after that, like the cheapest stuff you can get, it's not an endless supply. I've had a few people basically upset that I'm not building PCs at the same price that Umart builds PCs, and I'm just like, yeah, sorry, if you want that, go to Umart. They've got a 7-day turnaround on builds. I've got a 4-day turnaround on builds. You don't get to see any of it, and you don't get to talk to the person who's building it or anything like that. You just kind of get it, and that's what that is. I mean, if they're they do it at a cheaper price, but you don't get the same level of service. Newmart aren't known for like the greatest customer service in the world or anything like that. So I mean, you get what you pay for. It just does my head in that people think that, oh yeah, the guy doing live stream PC builds, he'll be like the cheapest possible place to get a PC, won't he? He'll be like the cheapest one. Don't know with some people. Alrighty. So this one is ready for some final love. Then we're going to put together a cheap one here for a young fella. So it looks like I've already got a ASRock. Well, this is a H470 in here. We might actually swap that out. Yeah, here we go. H510. And we'll chuck in an i3 10100F 4-core 8-thread CPU. So similar kind of thing to what's in the other PC there. Alrighty. Oh, I feel weird installing a traditional Intel CPU, not an LGA 1700 socket one. We'll just use the standard cooler. I'll save that copper center one for a more powerful CPU. Got plenty of the standard coolers here. You should hear that nice click sound from your Intel stock cooler. Would you look at that? Just enough cable length to route that nice and neatly, just like that. Okay, so just use a single stick of just Value Select brand here from Corsair. You know, it's cheaper memory, but this is a budget. This will be a budget PC build for a young fella to play a bit of Roblox and Minecraft and stuff on. Okay, so we don't have, oh, we do have the I/O shield for that board. We don't have one for this board. That's okay. So an I/O shield is not there for, like, it's not there to protect you from electric shocks or anything like that. It's not a hazard to not have one. The reason why they exist is because people like to have a neat look at the back. If it was up to the engineers, they would have just cut a hole in the back of it for the cables and gone, yeah, it's fine. Engineers are like, yep, sweet, that's no problems at all. Not gonna be a problem at all. And then the marketing guys are like, oh yeah, no, we need to cover that up. We got another spare one here. Put that cover back on it. There we go. Oh, bit of fluff on the bottom of that. Now this bag here. It's not an official anti-static bag, but we'll just keep it safe for now. Stay down there. Alright, let's keep the I/O shield with it. Okay. We do have a Rgb fan. It's just Molex powered, so it just does the one thing, but that's fine just for a kid. Might be a couple of SATA cables here. Alrighty, so we got room for a 2.5-inch SSD and a 3.5-inch drive in here. And so what we got, our front panel connections. Okay, so once again we've got a case here with like no cable management room. So once we get a power supply in here, we can sort of tie most of these cables up with the rest of our power supply cables. But then as for this one, let's get an SSD in here, because we won't sell anyone a computer without an SSD. And then the hard drive, that can be an optional extra that gets added in. Okay, so a SATA SSD goes on from the front here. And then if the customer wants to add an extra one, they can. But this is going to be a really cheap one, this one. This will be like $200. Okay. Got that one fan there. It's only an 80mm fan on the back there. We could put another one on the front. I don't think it's even necessary. Okay, our GT 1030. Okay, so what we might do, I got the SSD installed in there. I got pretty much everything in there except a power supply for it. So I might just quickly get an operating system installed on the SSD now. So I'll just plug in, bang, and bang. So let's see if this is all working fine. I'm pretty sure it is, that's why I didn't test it before I put it in the case. But there's always a chance. No, there's our power on button. It's the one with the faulty, yeah. One thing about this old shitty case here that we're chucking this in, it's got a faulty power button. So the reset button's hooked up as the power on. Okay. Hello. Oh, couldn't find a disk drive. Whoops. That's right. SATA drives work better when you plug in the SATA power. Pro tip. Hello. There we go. And watch how much quicker this is than the old i7. Took a little bit longer than I thought. Now plugged into USB 3 there. Okay. Alrighty. So we're nearly finished up here tonight. Oh, I'm tired. Okay. We've got an ASRock motherboard here. It's the stuff that would come on your CD. Oh, I think I hear my wife. She gets here right at the end. Let's install Heaven so I can show everyone what a GT 1030 is like. It's not like a modern gaming card, but it's okay for games like Minecraft and Roblox for a young kid. So if you're on a real tight budget and just after something for a young kid, this might be exactly what you want.
I said hi. Huh? I said hi. How did he get out? He was outside.
Oh shit, I think that door's open.
No.
No? I have no idea how he's gotten out.
She must have let him out or something. I forgot about it.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, we're nearly done. Didn't get through all the motherboards, but we've got a couple of PCs all fixed up. I think that was ASRock App Shop doing its forced restarts after every driver it installs. It's a little bit annoying. So yeah, this will just need a power supply, and then that'll be good to go. That'll be a cheap PC for someone. I mean, it'll have a new power supply, new CPU, new RAM, and good condition motherboard and graphics card, and a new SSD. So I mean, it'll be practically a new computer, just in a shitty case. So perfect for someone who's just trying to save a bit of money there.
Yes, prickle butt. Prickle butt. He's covered in prickles. He's got collar's pegs all through his fur.
Not really.
Ooh,
What?
I don't like that colour.
Yuck.
That looks like some of the mould that I got out of the fucking fish case tonight. I sprayed up where the light is, like in those fins, and a heap of like globby mould came out, and it was that colour.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so I'm like, ooh, that's not a very nice colour.
Alright, so we should be all good for Windows 11. If not, I'll fix that. Alright, some updates to be done.
Yeah, I showed one of my friends tonight the existential crisis cat video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he hadn't seen it before. He's like, that's fucking brilliant.
Alrighty. So it should all be going on.
Yes, and you just got in the fucking door.
Oh, get over it, Nathaniel. I'm sorry, I work. I have a day job. Tim's not replying to the things. It means Christine's not here. I'm sorry.
Oh, we'll fix that soon.
Yes. Just one more week. Tim?
Yeah.
Our Zalotech wants to know, can it run Warzone?
What, this?
Probably not.
No. Well, maybe it could, but you wouldn't want to run Warzone on this, man. So people go, oh man, I want the cheapest possible PC you can build me. I'm like, bro, you do not want the cheapest possible PC I can build you. And if you're telling me that you want to run games like Warzone, I'm not selling you the cheapest PC I can build. That's me asking for a bad review. Yeah.
You heard about that mass, well, it's not really a mass shooting, but they're calling it a mass shooting in West Bowen.
Huh? In Bowen?
Yeah. 3 family members are dead, plus...
Yeah, that's a mass shooting. A mass shooting
plus
is...
there's a couple that are in hospital.
A mass shooting is any time when more than 3 people are shot in one incident. That's what a mass shooting is technically.
There's one other person who was survived. So it was 4 in total that were shot. Police haven't revealed what sparked the shooting, but local residents have told of a property dispute between the owners of 2 properties in the area. Ugh.
Taking its sweet ass time. Oh well. Well, we know this is a dead CPU. And we want a little ornament. Little AMD CPU ornament. Looks exactly like the real thing, just doesn't do anything.
Tim?
Yeah.
Well, Zalatek wants to know what you suggest for minimal GPU for Warzone, or what price for a Warzone capable PC, not a pro gamer.
So I wouldn't be running Warzone. I wouldn't want to run Warzone on less than an RTX 2060 or RX 6600. That's about the minimum I'd really want to run a game like that, because if you play something like that, you really want to be able to run it 100 plus frames a second, nice and consistent. If you go less, then you're going to be disappointed, and you're going to be wanting an upgrade. Like the cheapest, this is the thing that people don't really understand sometimes. The cheapest thing isn't the best price to performance thing that you can get. So if you're looking at it from just a total dollar value perspective, then you're going to be a little bit blind, because there's the total dollar value and then there's the price to performance value of what you're buying. So, you can save a heap of money by downgrading this, downgrading that, downgrading this, downgrading that. But it's not like if you downgrade to a graphics card that's half as powerful, it's not like it's going to cost you like half as much. It'll cost you like 70% of the cost of that other one. So when you factor in the difference in performance, you work out that what is actually the cheapest PC, well, the best value PC in terms of price performance, isn't the cheapest PC. And it's not the most expensive one either. It's somewhere in the middle there. So the average person in 2022 is spending about $1,500 to $3,000 on a gaming PC. So around the $1,500 mark, that's like the lower end of it. 13, 14, 1,500, that's sort of the lower end. If you go much lower than that, you'll be wanting an upgrade in a year's time. So, You know, when I sell a PC to someone, I generally like to know that it'll be good for them for 3 years as a minimum. Most people I'll sell a PC to, I like to ensure that it'll be good for like 5 to 8 years. But if it's super budget, then 3 years is what I sort of try to roll with. So if I don't think it's going to do you well for 3 years, I'm not going to recommend it to you. So if that's a disappointment to some people, maybe there'll be someone else who'll recommend something cheaper and for the same thing. You go and take their recommendation, you do it. But I've got some standards that I keep to when I recommend things to people. I won't just recommend anything to anyone just to get a sale. So that's the difference between me and some places. Some places will just take your money. Come in, you go, we'll sell you a car, sort of thing.
I was just going to say that.
Yep. This is seriously taking a long time.
Because it's old and shit.
It's not old and shit. It's got a 10105. That's not that old. Do math.
Come on. Do math.
My mother-in-law was watching some game show earlier, and she called out to me because there was a maths question. I'm no fucking, I don't have a master in mathematics and quantum mechanics or something like that.
You're a mathematician,
I'm
you know.
no mathematician. she asked a maths problem that was on there that she obviously didn't know the answer to based on the way that she said it and her reaction when I got it right. The question was, what is 1/4 as a decimal value?
0.25.
0.25. Yeah.
That's something you learn in primary school, man.
Yeah, it's like grade 3 and 4 where you're learning fractions and shit like that.
Yeah, I was going to say about grade 3.
Whenever this thing's fucking ready, right? Bloody hell.
Last 10. Gross. Poppies.
Seriously?
jump all over me, Tim.
Huh?
He didn't jump all over me.
He's learning.
He didn't jump at the door.
I'm literally taken aback by how long this is taking to restart.
Maybe you should make a replay.
No. It will do its thing. It'll just freaking take its sweet ass time. It's not like I've never ever seen it take this long before. It's just...
It's been a while since...
It's been a while, yeah. It's been a while.
You're not used to it.
No.
Giant turd time for the dogs.
And like I wanted to do a BIOS update on this thing as well. And it's taken all the time that I would have thought I would have taken BIOS update done. Come on, Windows, whenever you want to like move on with your life, that'd be great.
Wait, Tim,
Yeah.
Moomoo's got a sore back leg. He won't let me touch it and he won't put it on the ground.
Oh, he's probably been bitten by an ant.
No, he's got an open wound on the side of his foot and it's all swollen.
Oh.
It's his back right leg. Poor mate. I wonder why he was laying up here at the door. Oh, he's got it on the ground now. Just got to keep an eye on.
He's all right.
Yeah,
They've just been fighting. That's what they do. They're pit bulls. Pit bulls fight.
the way Mooney came up to me, I thought it was her that had a sore leg because she was holding her front leg up in the air like it was sore. Maybe they hurt each other.
Maybe.
You're a good girl. Eat your dinner. He's got his back leg on the ground, but he's just sort of lightly resting. It felt warm to the touch too,
Yeah.
compared to the other one.
It's okay. It's okay.
I like it when my pets are injured.
It's Saturday though.
Oh, next Wednesday I'm not doing clothes, so we can go away. I finish at 6 too, so by that time we'll beat the traffic and get to bed and we can like stop in somewhere for dinner. Yeah? No?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you know what we could do? We could stop at Smoky Rooms for dinner.
I'm going there for my birthday with my parents.
Oh, okay. I'll scrap that out again. When are we going out to
Whenever we want.
Maybe we should do it on Sunday then. So like the day before the birthday.
Yeah, possibly. I'm working. I'm like my ads are running, so I'm pretty busy.
True that.
Seriously, this thing is just not doing what it should. So I'm gonna expedite our situation. I gave it plenty of time to do its thing. Yeah. Bang. Update the BIOS on it so we're compatible with Windows 11. That's for her.
Yeah. Yeah, I took my hair out and I was asleep. In my opinion. It just has been Hey, purple boy. Mate, if I don't pick these out, do you understand what's going to happen to you? You're going to get the clippers. Because your hair will match. You didn't like that, so let me pick out the clippers. I'm not hurting you. I'm not hurting you. Oh, now. Cranky bum. Little butt. I've got a big mat in the back of you. Oh my god, mate. I'm actually going to need a pair of scissors for that. He's not very happy. He's giving me a stink eye. So,
Not here.
but I had a pair of scissors this morning. Here.
And we're back here. Funny.
What?
I'm back here. I'm back here for real. For real.
Ugh. Hey.
I don't think I'm going to subject anyone to any more of this, to be honest. If it's going to take this long, I'm just going to let it do its fucking thing.
Yeah, I was going to say it was pretty fucking boring, but...
Absolutely, it's boring. I'm bored. Let alone anyone who's watching. Fuck, man.
John
Oh.
just chimed in. You chimed in.
Hey, John, how you going?
He chimed in. That's last name.
Chimed in just at the end. Yeah, I've just been fucking around with old computers tonight. I've got one that's looking pretty good. Second-hand B450 Aorus board. Modern AMD CPU. We'll chuck a decent graphics card in there and we'll have an under $1,000 gaming PC. It's not a piece of shit.
Anyway,
No worries. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all tomorrow in the next video.